20 years ago, Scott Peterson was found guilty of a crime that gripped the nation, the murder of his wife Laci and their unborn child Connor. Fast forward to 2024 and the case is back in the spotlight.
They said that you killed Laci because you didn't want to be married and you didn't want to be a father.
That's so offensive and so disgusting. I just don't get that argument, and it's just absolutely not true.
Could new revelations and legal battles set him free?
They only look at evidence which supports their bias.
Join us as we unravel the latest developments in this high-stakes fight for freedom. For those unfamiliar, Scott Peterson was convicted in 2004 for the murder of his pregnant wife Laci Peterson and their unborn son Connor. The case gripped the nation, and while Peterson was sentenced to death, the verdict has remained controversial for years. With claims of prosecutorial misconduct and mishandled evidence, his defense team has continued to fight for his innocence. And now, with new DNA testing on the horizon, everything could change. Welcome to Murder Mysterious. Today, we'll be breaking down and reviewing the actual document, the 1405 DNA motion, filed by the Los Angeles Innocence Project. This motion could be a turning point in Scott Peterson's ongoing legal battle. On January 17, 2024, Scott Peterson, represented by the renowned Innocence Project, filed a 1405 DNA motion.
We start tonight with a push for freedom for Scott Peterson. The decades-old case has a new twist tonight. Right now, he's behind bars at the Mule Creek State Prison in Ione.
Claiming that new DNA testing on both existing evidence and evidence previously untested could finally answer the burning question: was Scott Peterson wrongfully convicted? Viewer discretion is advised. The motion is filed by Paula Mitchell, Eliza Haney, Paige McGrail, and Hillary Mormon. Some details have been redacted for privacy reasons. This motion pertains to the case of People of California versus Scott Peterson, filed in the Superior Court of California. It focuses on DNA testing requests, along with several declarations, exhibits, and a proposed order. The Los Angeles Innocence Project, representing Scott Peterson, is requesting the court to order new DNA testing of critical evidence. Peterson has a pending habeas corpus petition, arguing that his state and federal constitutional rights have been violated. The motion requests DNA testing based on several important factors. Peterson has consistently claimed his innocence since his arrest. The evidence is intact and available for testing. It has been properly maintained to avoid tampering or alterations. The motion emphasizes that identifying the true perpetrator is critical. The DNA evidence could prove to be more accurate and discriminating than previous testing, potentially leading to a more favorable outcome for Peterson. One key piece of evidence being revisited in this motion is a burnt-out van found in Modesto, California. Discovered on the morning of December 25, 2002, just a day after Laci was reported missing, the van contained several items, including partially burned mattress cloths, duct tape, and other debris. While this evidence was available during the original trial, it was never fully tested for DNA. In 2019, limited testing revealed human DNA on the mattress cloth, but the new motion is pushing for more comprehensive analysis. Could these tests uncover new truths? This brings us to one of the alternative theories presented by Scott Peterson's defense: the burglary that took place across the street from the Peterson home around the same time Laci went missing. The Medina family's home was burglarized between December 24th and 26th, 2002, and the defense suggests that Laci may have encountered the burglars, leading to her abduction. Eyewitnesses reported seeing a suspicious van and men loitering around the Medina house on December 24th. However, the prosecution largely dismissed this theory, focusing on Peterson instead. The defense now claims that these burglars may be connected to Laci's disappearance, and crucial evidence from the scene, such as gloves and tools, could hold the DNA of individuals who were never investigated thoroughly.
The They noticed that there was a media truck down the road, and they thought it was kind of interesting, but it wasn't the incredible volume of satellite trucks and reporters and things like that we found like 3 weeks later that were in front of the house. This was early on, and so it was a local story at the time, local coverage. And when it came time to try and find these guys, our street crimes detectives, they went out and they were able to find these two guys that did the burglary almost immediately. And everybody connected with that burglary, whether it was the two guys who did it, the people that they sold the property to. Everybody wanted to get away from this thing because they didn't want to be associated with the Peterson case. So not only did we recover the property from the burglary, the two guys that were involved in it, they were almost begging for a polygraph because they know they were going to be locked up and they didn't want to be in jail with the thought that they might have murdered Laci over their head, because people in jail have a little bit of a code. It's kind of cool, and they don't take too kindly to other guys killing pregnant girls.
Let's look at the specific evidence items requested for DNA testing. A piece of partially burned mattress cloth recovered from an orange van after a fire in Modesto on December 25, 2002. A fuel tank cloth from the same van. A metal fuel container from the back of the van. Various other items, including a black tarp, duct tape, and debris recovered near the remains of Laci Peterson. Additionally, work gloves and a hammer, both found at 516 Covina Avenue, as part of the MPD investigation into a burglary at the Medina's home around December 24th, 26, 2002, are included. These items were suspected to have been handled by burglars who had entered the home around the time Laci Peterson disappeared.
A tip yesterday that led us to some suspects in the burglary case. We have 2 people in custody.
Went and picked up the safe and took it to my house, and that's all that I had to do with it. I didn't have nothing to do with that lady's disappearance.
Within a day of arresting Steve Todd and Glenn Pierce, the Modesto police announced that it was not connected to Laci's disappearance.
We solved that burglary, found out that it in fact occurred on the 26th.
This is a separate incident altogether. It's confident in our minds that we have one crime that we can resolve, and now focus our attention back on finding Laci Peterson.
Burglary took place on December 26th, not December 24th. The problem with that is I was standing outside that house at 5 in the morning on December 26th. And I would have gone and interviewed the burglars if they were out there, because there was nobody outside the front of that house.
Further items for testing include a 15.5-inch piece of duct tape from Laci Peterson's pants, previously tested but with inconclusive DNA results. This brings us to a sensitive part of the case involving Connor Peterson. We need to approach this with care. Although rarely discussed, this aspect of the case is crucial in Peterson's defense. One particularly important item is a 50-inch twine tied in a bow around Connor Peterson's neck during his autopsy. The motion asks for DNA testing of this twine, which was never fully analysed. Additionally, duct tape found in a bag near the body will also be tested. Both pieces of evidence could potentially reveal new DNA, pointing to alternative suspects. This 1405 DNA motion could change the course of the Scott Peterson case. With modern DNA testing techniques applied to critical pieces of evidence, we may finally get answers to lingering questions about Peterson's guilt or innocence. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Murder Mysterious, and hit the bell icon for more updates. I've also placed a copy of the motion in the comments below for you to view. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think the new DNA testing will reveal something groundbreaking? Stay tuned for more updates on the case.